Allah, first and foremost, give our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kalkulash upon the spirit upon me to this video. This is the brother Ramya back at you with another lesson. In today's video, I'm going to play two clips, showing you the chaos, or the havoc that these ICE agents are causing, but in all actuality, they were, these devils saying these agents were set up, to basically, bring safety towards the people, but we can see, the type of safety they bring in, So as you can see in the video, this woman basically was stopped by these ICE agents, and as you know, their task is to basically go around and asking people if they are citizens, of America, and if not, they'll ask you to present your papers, basically, towards them to show proof that you are a citizen or not, and this woman, she wasn't complying, and as you see, they took, matters into their own hand, and took them out with force, all because, they want to assert their authority, and want to look, as tough as possible. They shot this woman in cold blood in front of the public, not caring. And as you can see, this is just one view, of this incident, and there are numerous different angles and and videos out there, of the same incident, because this right now is going viral, all around the world of the foolishness that these ICE agents are doing, So imagine when things start to get worse. Imagine when things start to get worse. If they stopping you in the middle of the road, imagine when things start to get worse, So these agents ain't just going from door to door, They stopping you in the middle of the road, So sooner or later, these people come into your jobs, and then I saw another video, where some ICE agents were basically, stopping a Somalian man, asking him if he have his papers, asking him if he's a citizen of America, and the Somalian man, he basically, was asking him why they doing this, and if they only attacking people of color, So this just gonna show you that these people already have their targets out there, have those people marked on who they want to go after, So this ain't got nothing to do with no safety of America and trying to rule out all immigrants, and to basically build a better America. That's just to terrorize, Jake, That's their main agenda, to terrorize Jake, As long as you so-called right over there in America, they ain't really can bother you, But if they feel as though, you're trying to make them look bad, or you're trying to, you basically trying to downplay them or not comply with them, they can take you out in brute force. And as you can see, this woman was taken out in brute force, And now in this next clip, I can show you where the people around was basically trying to get the woman help, and these agents forcing these people back, not giving this woman help, the woman who they just shot in cold blood. So this just gonna show you these agents, these ICE agents, ain't give a damn about who you is, They ain't give a damn about no safety, Their goal and their agenda is to cause chaos and havoc, This, mind you, this all started from them going, from house to house. Nah, they stopping you in your car, you know, going on your job and attacking you now, you know, and terrorizing you now, you know. But I can play the video and I can bring out some precepts, man.
To ICE.
Can I go check a pulse?
No! Back up! Now!
I'm a physician!
I don't care!
We understand. We got EMS coming, and I get it. Just give us a second.
We have medics on scene. We have our own medics.
Where are they? Where are they? How can I relax? You just killed my neighbor. You caught your butter in the face. You killed my neighbor. How do you show up to work every day? How the do you do this every day? You're killing my neighbors. You're stealing my neighbors. What the man?
You hear that? You killing my neighbors. You stealing my neighbors. You know, like I say, this all started from them going from door to door. You know, this all started, you know, in certain parts of America, you know, like Chicago and LA and what's not. Now it made, you know, now it made its way over to Minneapolis, you know, and different places over there inside America, you know. And like the woman say, you killing my neighbors and you stealing my neighbors, you know. So those that comply, if you ain't straight, they taking you into them concentration camps. You know, those who don't comply, they killing you in cold blood, you know, as you see in the video. Now I can show this next clip, you know, to where the mayor of Minneapolis spoke out, you know.
To ICE. Get the out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite.
Like it say, you know, these ICE, you know, reasons of being set up in these different countries in America or these different states, you know, was for safety. But as you can see, they're doing the exact opposite of that. You know, they causing strict chaos. You know, they causing, you know, havoc, you know, terrorizing, you know, people, you know, all for the sake of doing, you know, their agenda, you know, their actual agenda, you know, because that safety BS, you know, it was just a cover up, you know.
People are being hurt. Families are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis residents that have contributed so greatly to our city, to our culture, to our economy are being terrorized, and now somebody is dead. They are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense.
Now tell me, how could this be self-defense when no guns, you know, or weapons were drawn from the person, you know, that was shot, you know, no force of, you know, of physical action was taken. You know, the person was sitting in their car, just, you know, not complying, you know, to them telling them to come out and basically present papers, you know, to tell them that they are part of the, you know, U.S. economy. You know, none of those things came into play. So how could that be self-defense? You know, they ain't going there to ask no questions. You know, as long as you do something they ain't like, they was happy for that. You know, and as you can see, that's what happened to the woman. They was happy that she didn't comply. So they put 2-3 bullets inside her head, you know, in cold blood in front of the public. They ain't get who saw. You know, that was just used as, you know, and set up as an example, you know. But the precept I'm going to bring out is Ecclesiastes 3:1. It reads, to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the sun. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill, and a time to heal, a time to break down, a time to build up. You know, and as you can see, that's what these people are doing. You know, it's a time to kill and a time to heal. And this right now is a time of killing. You know, because complete chaos is happening. You know, and these devils are doing the will, you know, of Yahweh Shem Shai, you know, that was placed, you know, on the agendas of their rulers, you know, of the people, you know, higher than them, you know. A time to break down, a time to build up, you know. Society over there in America is crumbling, you know. Society over there in America, you know, is breaking down. But guess what? All this happens just spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. A time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn, a time to dance. And as you can see, you know, the family of that woman is weeping now The neighbors of the woman are weeping. You know, the whole city, you know, of Minneapolis, you know, are mourning because they didn't know who could be next. You know, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace, a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get, a time to lose, a time to keep, a time to cast away. You know, a time to lose, a time to keep. And right now, you see people are losing their lives on a daily basis, whether it be from these ICE agents, you know, casualties of war, you know, famines, you know, pestilences, you know, no matter what it be, no matter what form it comes in, it's still happening through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. For 7, a time to rent, a time to sow, a time to keep silent, a time to speak, a time to love, a time to hate, a time of war, and a time of peace. And you, as you know, that a time of peace already been gone. We live in a time of war right now. You know, articles coming out daily, you know, on different, you know, on different reasons of why war's happening, you know, and showing you different ways, you know, that this war, you know, it's gonna affect the world, you know. Verse 9: What profit hath he worked? So like, what profit hath he that worketh in that where he laboureth? I can jump on down to verse 15. That which has been is now, and that which is to be hath already been, and the Most High required that which is past. And moreover, I saw the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. I said in mine heart, the Most High shall judge the wicked, so like the Most High shall judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time there for every purpose and for every work. You know, and this is exactly what is being manifested now. You know, a time for everything. You know, though execution don't happen expediently, it's gonna happen. You know, we didn't know what that spirit had done against the Most High, and you know, and why, you know, the real reason why, you know, it was shot in cold blood. You know, the woman was shot in cold blood. You know, she could have been a Jake, or she could have been not. You know, who knows? But as you know, 2/3 are just as wicked, you know, as the heathen. But, you know, it's a time for everything. And right now we live in a time of war. We live in a time, you know, to lose. We live in a time of turmoil and chaos, you know. And these ICE agents ain't come to do no damn safety, you know. Ezekiel 7:25, destruction cometh, you know. And they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. You know, more peace is coming towards this place. You know, only wars and turmoils, you know, pestilence, famines, all different kinds of forms, you know, of judgment from Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You know, all these are different ways the Most High is bringing forth His judgment, you know, showing His might, you know. But nonetheless, hopefully this lesson was much edifying to serve this purpose. I give a praises to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai for putting His spirit upon me to do this video. Shalom.